Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to DJ TLM TV. I'm DJ TLM, and in today's Q&A, I want to talk about a question that I received from a couple different people. And the question comes from people who want to start using a digital vinyl system. They're going to use it with turntables or CD players, but that setup is going to include a mixer. Now the question is, should they get a mixer with a built-in audio interface, or should they get a separate audio interface and mixer? Well, both options will work just fine. And there's a couple of pros and cons to using all-in-one system. Now, if we're talking about Serato and Traktor, for both of these systems, you can get great all-in-one products. Of course, if you're using Traktor, you have the Native Instruments Z2, and you have a lot of Traktor certified mixers from Denon, Pioneer, Eclair, Korg, a whole bunch of them. So you have a lot of choice. And for Serato, you have, of course, the Rane lineup, like the 61, 62, 64, 68. So you have some great mixers. Now, one of the cool things about the all-in-one system is it's real easy to set up. You take your two players, turntables or CD players, you connect them to your mixer. You have one USB cable going from the mixer to your computer, and you're good to go. And those mixers all have MIDI functionality, so this means that they have buttons on the mixer that you can use to control functions inside the software. So it's a very cool system. It's a nice all-in-one way to do your thing, but there's a couple of downsides as well. If you have the all-in-one system and you're going to play somewhere else, if they don't have that mixer there, then you're going to have to bring your own. So you're going to carry bigger equipment. If I go to a club and I'm using a separate system, I have the small box right there, the Rane SL1, and I'm going to be getting the SL2 or 3, but still a small box, a laptop, and my control vinyl. So I don't have to bring a lot of stuff, and I can use it with any mixer. So it doesn't matter which mixer they use in the club, my digital vinyl system will work. So that could be a problem. I mean, a lot of gigs you might be able to just bring your own mixer, but I know that there will be clubs, especially clubs, if you're playing with other DJs that night, and they're using the house system, so that could be turntable, CD players, probably with a Pioneer mixer, DJM900 or 900. They're not gonna like it if you have to disconnect the players from that mixer, connect them to your own mixer in order to play. I don't know. A lot of times that's not gonna work. So that means that you have to play on that mixer, but you can't because you don't have a separate audio interface. So that's gonna be a problem. Another plus for using separate systems is if something was wrong with your all-in-one mixer, something broke, something in the audio interface or on the mixer itself, the whole unit has to go away for repair. So you don't have a mixer and you don't have an audio interface. If something breaks on my mixer, I can just use another mixer, but I still have my audio interface. The all-in-one systems like the Rane 62 or the Z2 are quite expensive. And you can get a separate audio interface and mixer for cheaper. So if you're working on a budget, the all-in-one systems are probably not a good idea, or you're just not going to be able to afford it. The reason I don't have one of those mixers here right now is because I can't afford it. Because I would love to add one of those mixers to my set. I would never get rid of my separate audio interface, but I would love to have one of those mixers, but they're too expensive for me now. Those are things to think about if you're making that choice. And let's imagine that you're going to make the choice to have a separate audio interface and a separate mixer. Then you have to look at a couple more things. What kind of mixer are you looking for? And that depends on what kind of DJ you are. Because you have club mixers, you have special scratch mixers. The mixers I have right here, the DJM900 by Pioneer, and my Vestax, my PMC 05 Pro 4, that's a long name. They're both scratch mixers. And they're both 2-channel, you might want a 4-channel mixer. So think about what you need in a mixer. And another important part, if you look at my two sets, the DJM900 is a great scratch mixer. It's my favorite mixer. It has great sound, a lot of good effects, post-fader effects. I'll explain that in a different video, but I love this mixer. But the only downside would be that it doesn't have MIDI functionality. So this means that I can't use the mixer to control functions in Serato Scratch Live. That's why I'm using these Novation dicers on this set so I can trigger my cue points and loops and effects and samples. I use Serato Scratch Live, and I also use Serato Video. If you're using Serato Video, that means you can mix with video footage. But in order to mix a scratch with both the sound and the video, my crossfader needs to be able to also switch the video feed inside Serato. That can only be done with a mixer with MIDI. So I couldn't use this mixer if I want to use Serato Video. So if you want to use Serato Video, you're going to need a mixer with MIDI. The Vestax mixer does have MIDI, so I can use this and I can make the crossfader, control the crossfader in Serato Video, and it controls the audio. So I can use that for Serato Video. It also has extra buttons right here that I can use to trigger cue points, loops, or anything I want. So on this set, I don't need the Novation dicers. So think about that as well. If you're gonna get a mixer without MIDI, you might need to add MIDI controllers if you want to have extra functionality and use the software on the computer without always touching your laptop. Or you can get a MIDI mixer. A downside to using the Vestax is that it's a very good scratch mixer. The audio is pretty good too, but there's no effects on the mixer. I can trigger effects in the software, but I don't have effects on the mixer. So if I just connect my turntables and I just start to mix with normal vinyl, I won't have effects or anything like that. And with the Pioneer, I would have all these effects. So there's a lot to consider when you're looking at mixers. But if you're looking at budget, a separate audio interface and mixer are probably going to be a lot cheaper than getting one of the all-in-one systems like a Z2 or a Rane 62. So I hope this helps. And you have to decide for yourself what you need. Is it going to be strictly for at home, or are you going to be playing somewhere else? Do you want to carry mixers everywhere or just an audio interface? Think about that when you make a decision. And if you're just starting out, do not go for one of the expensive all-in-one mixers. You don't want to be 4 months down the road and decide that you really don't like the digital vinyl system, and then you're going to have to sell that incredibly expensive mixer secondhand for a lot cheaper. It's going to cost you money. So if you're just starting out, start simple. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, or if you want to share which way you use your digital vinyl system, are you using an all-in-one mixer or separate audio interface, leave a comment in the comment section, join the conversation, click like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, support DJ TLM TV, and check djtlmtv.com. Peace.